Hello everyone, today we're going to look at some pre-flop decisions. So I've already taken a look at this a little bit and I have to admit that it's actually not that easy to analyze. For example, this first hand. So as you can see, it's under the gun, but it's actually a middle position. Because there's only 6 players, so middle position opens to 3x, which is a little bit, alarming that he's raising this big. But on the other hand, when you look at his stats, he seems a bit active and kind of wild, but still. So yeah. So question here is, can we actually fold? I don't think we can. Let's first take a look at, for example, his opening range. What is his opening range from the middle position? Not this, probably. Maybe something like this. This is quite wide actually. Let me take a look. I'm not going to be raising these hands. Maybe something like this. Yeah. So like 24% of hands, this seems fine. And as you can see, our hand actually, it only has 49% equity, so maybe it's not that clear that we should never fold. But since we need to call 3 big blinds and a pot of already 5 and half something big blinds, we can actually call. Of course, there are still going to be players behind who are going to raise, and we probably have to fold against that. So we can't just call based on these odds we get, because like at least 1 to, or at least like 3-4% each of these players are going to wake up with a monster hand, and then they might also be bluffing. So you're going to be getting 3-bet like more than you think, like 15-20% of the time maybe, and then we have to fold. So I don't know, maybe. So if we make it so like, let me think about this first. So I did some small calculations here. So let's assume that every player 3-bets 5%, every of these guys. So that's 20%, and then 5% of the time the original raiser is going to 4-bet, and we of course are going to fold if that happens. So we're losing 3 big blinds in that case, and then and this is assuming that these guys aren't going to call. We are going to win like roughly 50%. This pot of 8.2 big blinds, it's 4.1, so it's 4.1 we win, so we make a profit of like roughly 1 big blind. This is 75% of the time, so we make a profit of about 0.75 big blinds. This is 25%, so we make a loss of around 75 big blinds loss. So actually, assuming this flat call is like break even-ish, so it's not that good. But one of the merits of flat calling, of course, is or one extra merit, especially in this position, to flat calling is to get other players into the pot. For example, this guy here, you can see he's like loose passive player, so there's a chance he's going to come into the pot with hands he shouldn't be, and we are really deep with him. We have a hand that can make the nuts, so there's a lot of implied odds there. So that's why I like the call a lot more. Also, these guys, this guy also seems like a passive player. Um, this guy we don't really know. So yeah, I like flat calling more because of that reason. Um, Now, of course, we gotta compare this to three betting. So if we three bet, so again we assume this time, since we three bet, we assume that 4% of the time uh, one of these guys is going to get it in, and he's also going to be four betting 4% of the time, which might be a little bit too small. I'm not 100% sure, but so in 20% of the times we're losing 9 big blinds. So now let's take a look at how often this guy is going to be calling, or rather folding. How often is he going to be folding? So he has 287 combinations in this range, and let's assume he's going to be uh, folding these hands. Um, so is he going to be calling all these hands? Probably not. King 9, probably not. So Jack 9. So 170 combinations. So 170 of 287. It's 59% he's going to be playing. So he's folding roughly 40%. So 40% of the time we win the pot. So that is plus 5.2 big blinds. And then 40% of the time he's going to be calling, roughly 40% of the time. It's not exact, of course. And which hands he's going to be calling? Maybe something like this. Yeah, this seems fine. Maybe he's three betting this hand. It's Queen 10, 9, 8, King Queen. Is he going to be calling King Queen off? Probably shouldn't. So it should actually been this range, but yeah, it's okay. So against his calling range, we have about 43% equity. So, and the pot, of course, if he calls, we're going to be 9 big blinds, 18, so will be roughly 20 big blinds. So 42%, we win 20 big blinds. And so 58% of the time we're still going to be losing uh, 9 big blinds. Is this correct? Because are we actually winning 20 big blinds or are we winning 11? Probably 11, I would say. I'm not 100% sure. I think 11 makes more sense. Man, I really need to get some more help on this topic because it's so strange that it's so tough to analyze these preflop scenarios. So let's calculate 2 times 11 is 462, and then 58, or rather 0 0.58 times 9 is minus 5.22, and 4.62 minus 5.22 is minus 0.6. So you can see calling actually, or rather if we 3-bet any calls, we're losing chips. So now 20% of 9 is 1.8, so minus 1.8. 40% of 5.2 is plus 2.8, and 40% times 0.6 is minus 0.24. So if you add this all up, it's close. It's close. We're basically winning 0.04 big blinds 3-betting. Making these assumptions. Of course, this is not taking into account post-flop play. This is only very rough estimation. So all in all, considering this, we can at least for sure assume that it's a pretty borderline play here. And this guy, Villain, he's pretty aggressive, playing quite a lot of pots, so which means he might also be more able to bluff post flop and maybe get us off the best hand. So yeah, I don't think 3-betting here is particularly good. And as I said earlier, flat calling seems a lot better to get this guy into the pot. So I know this video or this analysis isn't too in-depth. The reason for that is because I am actually more engaged in forums and Discord servers now, talking more with people about the hands. Like the last 2 or 3 videos, I've posted my hand over there. Same with this A7 hand that I just analyzed. Jesus, man, I can talk today. Anyways, what I'm also going to be doing more often, I've already run some tests and did like a small stream, but I'm going to be streaming a bit on Twitch. The main goal is going to be just talking about hands, showing my thought process, things like that. So as a little extra bonus, I'm going to add some play and explain, as they call it, to this video, and hopefully you enjoy that. If anyone is actually watching these videos for enjoyment, don't think so, right? uh, doesn't matter. This is still just purpose is exercise for me, so I don't really care. Whatever. See you in next videos. If you want to watch me play a little bit and explain, stay tuned. If not, do something useful with your life. Alright, adios. So, welcome. We are going to start by raising queens versus the small blind limp. And here this guy also limped. Think we can raise. Not yeah. Our hand is strong enough. Here he dunks all of a sudden, which means he probably has something, but no reason to raise. I think we want to keep his bluffs in, and I mean this ace isn't too great, but I think he's probably not having. It's actually doesn't matter. It's not. It's he's not going to have the ace, but it's bad because he might now fold his 9, you know. And the reason he's not having any ace is because he's jamming them pre-flop. Wow. How can you not value bet there? Okay, whatever. So here in the small blinds we're just going to fold. King queen from the cutoff, 6 max is an open. We get it through. 10 deuce suited, so we're gonna fold. 10-6 as well. In this tournament we're almost in the money. Well, 300 people left, but 3,800 people started, so 300 people is actually only 10%, so this is a fold. Here, this guy is pretty active, but yeah, can't start 3-betting king 6 suited, especially with a small sample. I mean, you might just have gotten some good hands, you know, and be not aggressive at all. King 5 suited on a button, we're going to open. He limps, interesting. And he man raises, what the fuck. I mean, I'm tempted to call. Hopefully we can see flop, but I think the chances are just too big. This guy or any of these guys will ship it. I'm not sure, and it's not like we have that good of a hand, so I'm gonna fold actually. Here we defended in the big blind versus this hijack open. I think I'm just going to fold. There are many other hands you can continue. All flush draws 10-8, 6-8. I mean, they're all better than ace-5. Ace-9, we're going to open if any of these guys. Okay, he's limping again. He's a bad player. And he's doing the same. Okay. But no. Now I'm definitely going to at least call. I'm considering shoving actually. that it's close to the bubble. I mean, most people don't do the same thing twice as a bluff, right? But then again, that's the reason why I do it. So I'm just gonna shove. You know, it's pretty wide, but he's going to fold almost always, and I think also is going to be folding a lot of hands. And well, look at that, he calls ace 4. That's fucking amazing. I mean, this makes our play print money. Didn't expect that. I didn't think he would call that actually. But that's, yeah, like I said, makes it so much better to jam there. Here we opened the button called with a regular, which I played a bit with quite a bit. He isn't calling that much, but I'm going to see bet. He isn't calling preflop that much, but he has a lot of hands like 10-9 suited, maybe queen jack he might have. I mean, he has pairs like sixes, sevens, things like that. 4 doesn't really matter, neither of us has. And I'm going to keep barreling to get some folds from like like bigger pairs than ours, and also hands like just, I don't know, ace 10 suited, which he might peel with on the flop. Don't mind that they fold, you know, because they have 6 outs. Yeah, so I really like double barreling there. Here we got a shove through in the previous hand. I'm gonna fold it. To open this hand here. We're in the small. Oh, this is limp pot, I think. Yeah. We're definitely going to call a bet on this flop. On this turn, we're definitely going to bet for value, and many draws out there, flush draws. Gonna bet rather big as well. Many flush draws, straight draws. People could have hit a 9. I don't know now if we can bet for value. I believe we can, because I think he would be betting most. Is not sure. Yeah, I'm going to bet for value. He has many 9x, 10x, maybe 10, 10, 7 now. I think he's, yeah, nice hand by him. I think he's betting most flush draws, but I would expect he's also betting on the flop. I mean, of course he's not going to be betting that on the flop. It's trash. Well, never say. Of course he's not going to be betting. In fact, it might actually be a good bet. I'm not sure. 7-3 off. We're not going to be defending. 8-4 also unplayable hand, even on the button. This is so ugly, man. You have queens, you see 3 aces, and then the only ace left in the deck, bam. you have 80% 4-way on the flop. Fucking crazy. You hate to see that happen. Not getting many playable hands right now, but yeah. Normally I play a little bit more tables, but now with the recording, of course, I'm going down to 4. And actually, yesterday I also, excuse me, played 4 tables. Most of the time because I want to be, thinking more deeply about my hands, and I'm not possible to do that if I play 8 tables, which I find myself autopiloting a bit too much, and that's also why I'm going to be streaming on Twitch. Interesting scenario. Normally, this is a fold, but I think people overfold to jams in general, so I'm going to open shove here. It's just kind of a fun player, so I think we. Wow, 7-4, you're kidding me? Wow. Jesus fucking Christ. We get the best scenario possible, and then they suck out on us. This guy decides he wants to jam for the big nines. Sure. Yeah, pretty unfortunate. Gonna be looking for a new tournament. Um. Okay, I got one. This seems pretty good. With this guy limping again. I mean, our hand is a bit too weak to raise, but I don't mind trying to limp against these weak players. See flop, this guy is weak because well, it appears as if he's too tight. He's definitely too tight, is what I'm trying to say. Excuse me, my nose itching. And we're definitely going to stab now. I mean, they don't have a lot of aces in the range. This guy definitely going to raise. This He's most likely having like a 9 or 5, so I'm going to be betting again. He might actually be checking back some aces. And an ace is not going to be folding, but he has a 9, especially 5. So yeah, that's why I like to bet again. I mean, and he's just tight in general. Hmm. Think I'm going to be calling again. This is getting a little bit loose. This guy is quite tight, so maybe I shouldn't. Uh, is big or small? No, it's somewhat bigger. Oh, it's break, so what is this guy doing, man? He's 3-betting so extremely small. This is why I have him tagged as a bad rag, because I mean he just has probably just has aces or kings, you know. But I'm getting such a good price with this hand. I mean, going to call, and this is pretty annoying because, as I said, he probably has aces or kings. But we flopped up there. Man, this is annoying spot. This is such an annoying spot. I don't think we can fold again. And so good odds. I mean, disgusting. I'm just gonna fold, you know. I mean, okay, you see, this makes me know for sure this guy is just fucking clown, man. He's clicking. I should have read it first, and I should have maybe just folded free flop. Although that is pretty insane. I don't know, man. So thank you for watching. So as I said, I will be streaming on Twitch. You can find me there under the name Speednuts. So that'd be twitch.tv/Speednuts. Yeah. Thanks again for watching. Hope to see you on one of my streams. Adios.